Welcome to Amalion. In this short video today, I just wanted to talk briefly about this alluring voice, or this sense of wonder that language holds, and how Tolkien was well aware of this effect that language has on everyone, and how he incorporated it into his fiction. Tolkien knew very well the sensation of wonderment within story, and he especially knew how to invoke it. He experienced it profoundly when, at a young age, he first gazed upon Welsh words written on the side of train cars. Tolkien imbued this very same sort of wonder in his own stories. Many Elvish poems in The Lord of the Rings are intentionally left untranslated. This was done that it might, we could say, induce a deep sense of inquisitiveness. Not only does the absence of knowledge that can be derived from the poems create a sense of inquiry, but also the phonetic rhythm of the language itself whispers to the reader, as an alluring voice of wonder, we could say. Samwise Gamgee says it better when, in The Fellowship of the Ring, Chapter 4, A Journey in the Dark, after he listens to Gimli recite a poem in the Dwerodelf, his response is, "I like that. I should like to learn it." Here is Sam curiously compelled by a deep sense of wonder to learn more about these ancient-sounding words, of which he has no knowledge. The reader experiences this along with Sam, who, like him, do not know the Elvish tongue, but desire to speak it, that we may unlock the wisdom of the elves. One can see this as a victory for Tolkien in his attempt, whilst teaching at Leeds University, to encourage philological enthusiasm. The study of language inevitably carries the inquirer along an historical path, for languages are, of course, spoken by people. The ancient languages were thus uttered by people of the distant past. There are many passages in The Lord of the Rings that succeed not only in encouraging the pursuit of philology, but also of history. In this we see the relevance of Tolkien's theory that his invented language ought to be spoken by a people, in order that it possess any meaning. To him, languages were attractive. To repeat the words of Dr. Tom Shippey, he believed that people possess the ability to detect linguistic style in words. If the linguistic style is influenced by the elements of pre-existing languages, for example, Welsh or Finnish or Anglo-Saxon, then the alluring voice of wonder can lead the reader to those very languages, thus encouraging philological intellect. In this manner, one discovers the origin of a word and its original meaning. To follow not in Sam's inquisitive footsteps, or answer not that alluring voice of wonder, would be to merely remain held in that wonder. But to answer the call would be to discover meaning, to unlock that elvish wisdom. Of course, either decision is acceptable. One must not always feel the need to take an academic approach in Fairy, but one can assume that Tolkien would smile to see how many folk have been, by his fiction, inspired to pursue that philological call. One can certainly read The Lord of the Rings without knowing this. You can still enjoy the story, for being ignorant of this understanding means being exposed to a reticence that fills you with a potent wonder, and in it, held in secondary belief. Tolkien wrote with painstaking intention. Every part has been written many times. Hardly a word in its 600,000 or more has been unconsidered, said Tolkien in a letter to Milton Waldman. He was speaking of The Lord of the Rings. Nearly every word was pondered over before it was submitted to the publisher, for Tolkien, the scrupulous perfectionist that he was, intended that each word convey its message by exact definition. When it came to language inventing, Tolkien believed it was only sensible to combine the earliest forms of words in order to create a new one. His own invented language was, in this sense, not particularly made up, but rather a combination of those linguistic mediums lingering since ancient times, combined together to create something new. In the same way that secondary worlds cannot come from nothing, but can only be composed of the elements that make up the primary world, so too was Tolkien's approach to language inventing, the combination of those word forms already manifested in the mouths of those people who came before. In alignment with this idea of reaching back into the past, we come to another of Tolkien's philological views. He believed that philology was capable of rediscovering past stories. As we have over time lost either entire stories or their fragments, Tolkien believed that by studying the ancient languages with which they were told, we can, in individual words, find the missing information through their literary meaning or their translation, and with it reconstruct the tales, bringing to light that which would otherwise have been kept in the shadows forever. The stories may have been lost, but the words have lingered. The words are the bridge that lead us back to those lost tales. The result is a new story constructed from pre-existing fragments. Thank you very much for watching this video and for visiting my channel. If you enjoyed it, I would appreciate it if you liked the video, and if you are interested in hearing more about this kind of information, these Tolkienian talks, you could say, then I encourage you to subscribe. Thank you.